Their stories reflect the challenges that Native women face every day living in isolation and without resources. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, an average annual rape rate of a sexual assault among American Indian women is about 3.5 times higher than all other races.
He wanted to go out. He said to me, "You stay home." I said, "I want to go out." He said, "You have a baby." I said, "It's our baby." I laid the baby down. He probably felt my tension because he was whimpering, the baby. I looked up and he slapped me, my husband. Not a blast that knocks your eyes blue. That came later. It was a smack, a hard, domestic smack. He looked at me. He was smiling. I couldn't believe it. He was smiling. He slapped me again. His dad was vicious to his mother. I saw him smile. What was that? He was the nicest person. He had long black hair, combing his long hair. When we made love, it got loose before. He took me to the dinner, made me go with his boss. I didn't want to go. He kicked me under the table, told me to look happy, told me to smile. I smiled. He kicked me again, asked me who I was trying to fuck, asked me to stop coming on to everyone. I stopped smiling. He kicked me again. This went on and on. Outside the restaurant, he grabbed my hair and pulled me down to the curb. It had been snowing. He buried me in the snow. He pounded me in the gutter. The snow was melting. It was sloppy and mud. My hair felt like it was bleeding. I ran to... He was drinking. I was too. I must have blacked out. I woke up in the hospital after 5 brain surgeries. My hair was gone. I shaved it off. I had to relearn to talk and move my arms. It took me 4 months to remember how to cook breakfast. I remember putting the egg in the frying pan with the bacon. I knew the egg felt right, I just didn't remember to crack it open. Just the egg in the frying pan, in its shell. My head was bald. After 18 years, he beat me in the morning. When he was so nice again, I would braid his hair. I would take my time like I cared so much, and I would do it perfectly crooked. I would make the hair so they would stand up all crazy-like he'd go forgetting that the bruises on my face were his handprints. He walked all cocky in the street, all macho in the road, but his braid would be so crooked and look so stupid and wrong. This shouldn't have made me that happy. It really shouldn't have made me that happy. Heard that he was out with a woman, making love, and she was fluffing his hair when he was wild on top of her. He came home much later, and his hair was braided up all right and tight. He passed out from drinking. Then I got up with scissors as he snored and walked slowly to him and cut the braid off, completely off, and put it in his hand. And when he woke up, he screamed, "What the fuck? I'm going jumped up, but I had tied his shoes together so he couldn't run. I didn't go back to him for 3 years until I knew his hair had grown out again. I didn't want to have sex with him. He was drunk, and I was just a piece of meat to him, a big hole. I tried to pretend I was asleep. He elbowed me, jerked me, pulled me up. I remember thinking, just get it over with. He was soft and kept pumping and pumping until I got sore. I said it didn't feel good. He said, "Who were you with? Was he bigger than me? Did you like it?" You're like a mouse with a lion. You have to move fast to the door. He picked me up like I was a rag. His eyes were numb, and I could hear my son screaming. His mouth was open, and his tonsils, I could see his tonsils. My husband beat the shit out of me. He wrapped my long black hair around his hand and jerked my head. I tried to get my son. "That's not your son," he said, holding my hair in his hand. "That's not your son anymore." Now, he calls me in the middle of the night, weeping. He didn't mean to beat his wife. He didn't mean to batter her. He's suicidal. He knows what his mother went through, but he can't stop my son. They took our land, they took our ways, and they took our men, and we want them back. My revolution begins in this body. It isn't waiting anymore. My revolution does not need approval or permission. It happens because it has to happen in each neighborhood, village, city, or town, at gatherings of tribes, fellow students, women at the market, on the bus. It may be gradual and soft. It may be spontaneous and loud. It may be happening already. It may be found in your closet, your drawers, your gut, your legs, your multiplying cells, in the naked mouth of taut nipples and overflowing breasts. My revolution is swelling from the insatiable drumming between my legs. My revolution is willing to die for this. My revolution is ready to live big. My revolution is overthrowing the state of mind called patriarchy. Woo! My revolution will not be choreographed, though it begins with a few familiar steps. My revolution is not violent, but it does not shy away from the dangerous edges where fierce displays of resistance tumble into something new. My revolution is in this body, in these hips atrophied by misogyny, in this jaw wired mute by hunger and atrocity. My revolution is connection, not consumption, passion, not profit, orgasm, not ownership. My revolution is of the earth and will come from her, for her, because of her. It understands that every time we frack or drill or burn or violate the layers of her sacredness, we violate the soul of our future. My revolution is not ashamed to press my body down on her mud floor in front. Bayan, cypress, pine, kalyaan, oak, chestnut, mulberry, redwood, sycamore trees. to bow shamelessly to shocking yellow birds and rose blue setting skies, heart-exploding purple bougainvillea and aqua sea. My revolution gladly kisses the feet of mothers and nurses and servers and cleaners and nannies and healers and all who are life and give life. My revolution is on its knees, on my knees, to every holy thing and those who carry empire-made burdens in and on their heads and backs and hearts. My revolution demands abandon, expects the original, relies on troublemakers, anarchists, poets, shamans, seers, sexual explorers, tricksters, mystic travelers, tightrope walkers, and those who go too far and feel too much. My revolution shows up unexpectedly. It's not naive, but believes in miracles. Cannot be categorized, targeted, or branded, or even located. Offers prophecy, not prescription. Is determined by mystery and ecstatic joy. Requires listening. Is not centralized, though we all know where we're going. It happens in stages and all at once. It happens where you live and everywhere. It understands that divisions are diversions. It requires sitting still and staring deep into my eyes. Go ahead. Love.